This will be how I make my granola bars. This is a recipe off of All Recipes, and I believe the name of it is Playgroup Granola Bars, but I will link the recipe down below. So basically what we have here for our ingredients are, we have some rolled oats, and we bought those at Sam's Club, but you can also get them at like Whole Foods or Sprouts, or even your local grocery store, just in the bins. We just make these a lot, so we bought them in the bigger packages. Then we have some regular table salt. We have some flour, brown sugar. We have wheat germ, an egg, vanilla extract, cinnamon, honey, and the recipe calls for raisins, but we use craisins because that's what we like rather than raisins. And then kind of for the prep items, I have a 9 by 13 inch pan. I have some spatulas, a bowl to mix it in. I have a cup and a fork because I need to beat my egg, and some cooking spray, and then my oven. So I will go ahead and preset my oven to 350 degrees. And then start mixing stuff. Okay, so in here we have all of our dry ingredients, which would be our rolled oats, which are back here. Then we have our brown sugar, we have some wheat germ right here, we have some cinnamon, we have flour, and I put the craisins and salt in. So basically what I'm going to want to do right now is just kind of mix this all up, and then we're going to want to make a well and put our wet ingredients in the middle of the well. Okay, so you guys can see there's a little well down there, and I forgot to mention, the recipe calls for 3/4 cup of brown sugar, and I almost always put a cup or a little bit more than a cup. I just like it to be a little bit sweeter, and I also forgot to mention that you can buy wheat germ just at your local grocery store, or again, you can buy it at like a health food store like Whole Foods, Sprouts, something like that. So first off, I beat my egg, so I'll pour that into the middle. Then I have my honey. And my vegetable oil, and that was one ingredient that I didn't have out or mention. You do need vegetable oil. I'm not sure if you could use olive oil. I've never tried it with olive oil, but we just have vegetable oil right now, and that's what the recipe calls for. So these are going to be 3 of the wet ingredients, and then I'm going to need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So I will add that into my mixture, and then I will show you guys mixing it up and putting it in the pan. Okay, so I'm just going to mix the sides and everything until it's fully incorporated. So it's all mixed up now, and I used a spatula for most of it and then used my hands a little bit, but when I use my hands it gets all stuck to your hands, so I try to just use the spatula because it's hard to get off your hands, besides washing them, and then, you know. So I have my mixture now with all my ingredients in it, and I have my 9 by 13 inch pan. Okay, so I went ahead and buttered my pan. I just ended up using my hands to finish buttering it. And I have my mixture here. I'm just going to kind of plop it in there. And this is the easiest way I've found to do this. And just push it down. It is sticky, so it might stick to your hands a little bit. And remember to butter the sides of your pan too, because it'll get stuck if you don't. So we're just going to push down evenly and flat and get my whole pan. And then after this, sometimes I drizzle it with a little bit of honey on top. It gives it like a nice crunch. And then just put it in the oven, and our oven is already preheated to 350 degrees. And some more over here. And then we're going to cook for 30 to 35 minutes, but just check it. You just kind of want the edges to be golden brown. But I'll show you guys that. So it's pretty much all in there. There's no dry spots. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and put this in the oven and wait about 30 minutes and come check it. I'm just going to go ahead and set my timer for 25 minutes and come check it. Alright, so the granola bars, the timer just went off and it looks like they're done. If you can see, I'm not sure if you can, but they're kind of brown around the edges. So that means that they're ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down and pull them out of the oven, and then I will show you guys and explain how I cut them. Alright, so they're out of the oven now, and if you can see, there's a nice golden brown on top. And I didn't put any honey on top of them this time. I've never tried after putting honey on top after I've cooked them, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't say so in the recipe. I've just tried that a couple times and it gives like this nice crunch on top, but I didn't do that this time. So what I'm going to do is wait for them to cool a little bit, probably about 10-15 minutes. You don't want them to be too warm because they'll just fall apart when you try to cut them, but you also don't want them to be completely cool because then they'll be really, really hard. So usually what I do is I just cut them down like this into like little strips, and then I cut them across, and it makes like the perfect size granola bar. But I will do that after they cool, and I will show you guys the end result. Alright, so I cut them. If you can see that, I cut them lengthwise and then once across. And the pan is pretty cool to touch now. I wouldn't want to like hold it, but it's just kind of warm. And I would say that was about 15 or 20 minutes that I waited, but it was sitting on the oven, so it was still a little bit warm. And so I'll show you guys, this is just still a little bit warm, so it's kind of falling apart, but that's what they look like. And I'll just kind of scrunch it back together, and it'll stay once it hardens. And these are chewy. They're not super, super hard, but they do get like, you know, they're not falling apart in your mouth, but they are chewy still. So anyway, let me know if you guys try it, or leave me a comment. I think I'm going to try to do like a peanut butter one. I tried to just omit the raisins and put peanut butter chips and peanuts in it, but I don't know, it didn't work that well. It was really dry. So I'm going to try to find a different recipe, but this one is awesome. It's like chewy and crunchy, and I don't know. I haven't had anyone who's tried these who hasn't liked them. So yeah, give it a try and let me know how it goes. Thanks guys, bye.